Hi guys, how goes it? We have Chauncey here, and it's a little bit of a warm-up for him. He's a little nervous. It's totally normal. It has been a while. Hasn't really interacted with us in about 4 months. But as you can see, we've got him leashed up. As you requested, we are working on some leash stuff, and obviously to work on leash stuff, we had to get a leash on him. So he was not too excited about us approaching his neck. So we switched to a slip lead, which is not what we typically use. However, slip leads are great for just kind of lassoing a dog without that sounding so, you know, all the imagery that comes with that. He got plenty of treats when we put it on, but basically it just kind of, you know, looped it over his head. We're going to continue to work on, you know, advancing, moving towards his collar and connecting, but we wanted to use the collar instead of his harness because he has some serious pulling tendencies, and we wanted to start somewhere where there's a little bit more of a clean slate. So connecting this to the collar. Eventually we will go back to the harness whenever he's a little bit more accepting of us, you know, approaching and handling his equipment. But for the time being, we really just needed to get him moving. So that's what we're doing. If you didn't know, leash training has to start inside. Unfortunately, he is way too overstimulated outside. The last time that we saw him, he was practically, you know, auditioning for a sled dog movie role. So we need to make sure that we break some of those habits starting from inside, giving him a reason to walk next to Taylor, as you can see here. Obviously, we're taking this a few steps at a time and really just breaking this down for him. Yes, thank you for all the eye contact, but most importantly, reinforcing this loose leash that you see here. The leash should always have a swoop in it. And unfortunately, when he is on his walk, it is always tense. And that leash tension has translated to, I get to move forward.
And it's a different kind of tension. With us, he is more fearful because he's fearful of strangers. It's been a while since he's seen us. But with you, his tension comes from he's so excited, he wants to go forward. With us, I'm convincing him to walk with me. So it's kind of like we got to meet each other in the middle. He's a little more fearful with us, more confident with you. In the middle, we hope that no matter how you're feeling, please walk next to us.
Good. So essentially just instilling some manners while the leash is on, you know. Doesn't really matter who's holding the leash. We don't need to be hauling in any direction.
Good boy.
Good job. And really teaching him that him pulling in any direction isn't necessarily going to influence his walk with the leash, whether that be trying to get away or trying to pull forward. So again, just reinstilling some basic manners here.
I'm rewarding him for any steps he made going forward without me helping him.
And again,
so earlier I was giving him touch to help him out move forward.
Yes.
Touch is really awesome, but I need him to realize that I want him to move forward with me. Okay.
Okay. Oh,
so since he does that, I'm going to use a treat trail. Good boy. It's a big piece. Yes, good boy. Try this way. Yes. Good. Yes, good. It's easier to walk this way than that way, because he starts his walk going that way, then he goes outside. Yes, good boy.
And in this session, we will not be going outside in the front, just because, again, he needed a little warm-up round with us, and we want to make sure that we give him a foundation before we take him on a full-fledged walk.
Oh, you going that way? This way? Okay.
It's his chair.
No, you're not going to be a chair.
He said, this is my room.
Really important, he has a slip lead on, so this makes it a little complicated. If he were to pull, I would stop. I would not use any kind of leash correction. Actually, when he pulled early in the slip lead, I let it go, because again, I don't want him to think that the leash gets tighter, per se, when he pulls. But the leash, when it gets tighter, it should be caused by him. I am not going to jerk back to make him walk next to me. I'm going to use whatever I can, like you see, to convince him to walk forward or to pace with me. Let's go.
So guys, in terms of homework, what you guys can be focusing on is I would practice exactly what you see inside of your house with your own leash, but try this with leash to collar instead of leash to harness. The reason we say this is that we like to give you guys the ability to have somewhat of a shortcut. We understand that sometimes you just want to walk your dog without having to always train them. So because he already has essentially not so great walking habits assigned to his harness right now, if you practice with the collar, then that means the training is assigned to the collar instead of the harness. I hope that makes sense. You can always eventually translate it over to the harness, but for the time being, keep things simple, separate the training with your equipment, and keep it really brief. What you're looking for is walking with him, loose leash inside the home. You do not move if he is pulling in any direction. If he freezes up, you can do a little bit treat trail to get him to move forward. But essentially, we're just rewarding movement, and more importantly, we're rewarding movement that is right next to Taylor. So if you're looking for a nice, clean, almost heel-like position, she is specifically rewarding when he is closest to her knee. We are not overly concerned about what side that he walks on. We typically train on the right because we are right-handed and the majority of people are right-handed. It is totally up to you. That being said, the side that you treat on is typically where the dog will start to acclimate walking. So if you are right-handed, that's what we recommend because it's just easier to deliver the treats. But I hope all of this makes sense. Chauncey's doing really good. He did need a little bit of a warm-up, but as you can see, he's being Mr. Brave now. And we look forward to continuing to work on his leash work. See you guys later.